Good afternoon and welcome to Top Gun Options Monday Market Outlook. And what an interesting week it's going to be ahead. We're making an official call here, at least I am, getting bearish on this market, folks. This is heading downhill, and it's going to head downhill with some serious airspeed. As we predicted, this kind of rip-your-face-off relief, it was a snapback rally that was not to be believed. Markets don't do this, folks. Markets take an escalator up, and they took the window down. There was no way in hell we were going to take the elevator back up here. So I said we're going to at least fill this gap. If not, we have to retest these lows. And what's driving the markets lower? We're going to ripple through it right now. The main thing is China, folks. I haven't seen an international summit like this in a long time. Vice President Pence really got into it with President Xi Jinping. At one point, the Papua New Guinea police had to come to, because the Chinese delegation was trying to break into some room where they were supposed to be drafting some joint communique. You know, at the end of these big, happy, kiss babies and shake hands type of summits, everybody issues the same statement that says we're all one big happy family, and yay. They couldn't even get to that. Like, the Chinese delegation was trying to break in, and cops had to be called. I mean, this is just the vice president blasting China, President Xi blasting Pence and the United States back. This America first and nationalism, and Pence warning against smaller countries yielding to Chinese pressure. This was not good at all. It's incredible. And we just got done our weekly options live trade brief. We took a look at a weekly trade. Remember, markets closed obviously on Thursday for Thanksgiving, and an abbreviated session on Friday. So we took a look at a bear call spread on FXI. That's the iShares China Large Cap ETF, Foxtrot India X-Ray India. Okay, and we took a look at selling the 41 calls and buying as a hedge the 41.5 calls in case, I don't know, Pence and Trump are playing good cop, bad cop, and Trump comes out and tries to make lemonade here. So we looked at 18, 19 cents. It's maybe down here at 16. So if you got in there at 19 cents, you're already up maybe 3 cents. And we were looking at 150 contracts. So there's maybe $450 already in that trade since we covered it. I think this is going lower. Every time in the past 6 months, the FXI has popped on something on relatively, quote, good news. Hey, we're going to meet. No, we're not. Hey, we're going to get a deal. No, we're not. Hey, the Chinese GDP is awful. Well, here comes the PBOC, the People's Bank of China, to save capitalism. It didn't work either. So every one of these is a pop and drop in FXI, and I think we're 20 out of 22 of our bear call spreads on FXI have been profitable, if not max profit. So really looking to capitalize here on FXI imploding here. And if you got in a spread at 19 cents and 150 contracts, the metrics were risking about, $4,700 to maybe make $2,900. Nice risk to reward ratio. So this is a big deal. This trade war is not getting better anytime soon. I mean, I thought by maybe December 1st, when President Trump and Xi meet in Buenos Aires for the G20 after the G20 summit. Actually, they're going to be having dinner. I thought Trump was going to pull a rabbit out of his hat. This is going to be interesting. Grab the popcorn here. So the other reason stocks are imploding, or tech. Nothing pleases me more than to see limousine liberal companies implode, as I predicted. I predicted this last October. I said, get out of the fangs, guys. They're going to implode under the weight of their own hypocrisy and liberal hubris. Now they're eating each other. Mark Zuckerberg reportedly blames Sheryl Sandberg as Facebook faced numerous scandals. This article last week in Hive, Mark Zuckerberg refuses responsibility for Facebook's latest, greatest scandal. The dude's awful. Great entrepreneur. Brilliant. Horrible CEO. The only way Facebook survives or crawls out of this hole is when, not if, when he's fired or resigns. I get it, largest shareholder, all that type of stuff, but it's kind of like any client who has himself as an attorney, or I got it backwards, is an idiot. Well, this guy's he's awful. That's imploding. Apple's imploding. Apple suppliers suffer with uncertainty around iPhone demand. Apple is down another 5% today. I warned you about all these. I said pound these limousine liberal tech stocks into the dirt. And if you had listened to me, you'd be printing money on this. Twitter, all of them, folks. The only one that I liked out of them was Amazon, because Jeff Bezos kept his mouth shut. And the random couple times he's opened his mouth and let his limousine liberal out, the thing gets kicked in the teeth. So Amazon, be quiet, stop. Everybody, just stop, Amazon, and keep printing money. And this for Black Friday. Brutally cold temperatures are threatening to devastate Black Friday sales. Not a good headline to see right now. So really interesting. So the three Fs, Friday, Black Friday, fight this trade war, and the Fed, folks. And one of the reasons we're going through this right now, this implosion, is what? Right here, the Fed. And last week, the vice Fed chief, I think he's an Obama appointee, or at least he talked like it, was sticking it to Trump, more or less. He's like, we don't listen to political pressures. We're raising rates and this. So under Barack Hussein Obama, near zero interest rates, and the Fed pumping money into the markets, liquidity, up to $85 billion a month. A month. Now the Fed is raising interest rates and has to dump that balance sheet. What the hell? What did you think was going to happen? So I told you guys, as we were doing this quantitative easing, I called it what? Hopium. This market was smoking the hopium. It was like to Catholics, it was like the Pope coming out and say hell doesn't exist. So the market has believed for years, folks, that there's a put. There's a Fed put under this market. And I told you that the Fred Sanford, the big one, grab your chest, I'm coming, Elizabeth, drop dead, is going to be when the Fed or the market realizes that the Fed ain't there as a safety net. So let me let that sink in, folks. I'm my official strategic mindset right now. I've turned bearish. If you want to see this, we need. I'm starting to see institutional selling, which this wasn't institutional selling, folks. This was you. This was mom and pop starting to panic. What happened on the way down here? Institutions bought and thought they were bottom feeding and silly retail traders. Now the institutions are starting to get a little nervous, folks, because they also got conditioned to what? Uncle Fed or Aunt Fed under Janet Yellen was going to step in and save us. So, the president a couple weeks ago said the Fed's crazy, called the Fed chief crazy. And, of course, the liberals frothed at the mouth. And how dare you? He's right. You might not like the dude or like his demeanor, but he was right to call the Fed chief crazy. Raising interest rates while unwinding your balance sheet is going to result in this. So, and a couple people have asked me, over the past week or so, like, well, can you just fire the Fed chief? Of course he can. He serves at the pleasure of the president. But any firing of anybody in this government is just fodder for liberals to go apeshit. So I don't think he can do that. We talked in our brief about Raytheon. The Senate's starting to get their hackles up about the arms deal with Saudi Arabia. And then Russia is starting to sell equally capable missiles that are cheaper than American companies. God bless capitalism. Look at this right here. So we talked about Raytheon in our brief. We're going to talk about more about that tomorrow in the primary live trade brief. But the defense stocks are getting hammered as well. So let's review. Tech stocks getting just pummeled to death. Financial look at Goldman Sachs. I think Goldman Sachs is down like 15% in the past week. This thing is just getting hammered. Told you to dump Goldman Sachs. Lloyd Blankfein's like the stinky house guest that'll never leave. The guy's still there. Thought he was leaving. Look at this. 15% in the past week, Goldman Sachs has imploded. So financials hammered, tech stocks hammered, defense stocks hammered. Where is the money going, right? So that's what's going on here is some institutional selling, and they're sitting on cash. Cash is a position, guys, as these tech stocks implode, and we're kind of looking for the bottom. The institutional money is going to sell and sit on the sidelines. Hell hath no fury like a liberal scorned. The media is turning on Facebook and Google. I love seeing this. So I love being right with this stuff, man. We nailed it. I nailed the election of Donald Trump. I nailed that the market would rally, and I nailed that these tech stocks would implode. Love being right. And I'm telling you, man, financials are in for more pain because this lady, this village idiot, is going to sit here for the next 2 years and subpoena the hell out of him, bring him up on Capitol Hill for public floggings. That's going to do nothing. The next 2 years are going to be a 2-year re-election commercial for Donald Trump as Democrats like her, Elijah Cumming, Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, and who's the other clown? As the Democrats take over the House, it's going to be a 2-year shit show. That's the other reason we're imploding down here. Markets don't like Democrats, period, folks. That's just, let's get it out there. best friends were my parents were John F. Kennedy Democrats and then Reagan Republican. I really don't care about your party affiliation. If you want stocks and the market to go up, you don't vote for Democrats, folks. Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats want to repeal the tax. The more money in your paycheck, they not only want back, they want more out of your paycheck. Do you think that stocks go up based on that type of news? No, they don't. So it's going to be very interesting, guys. We talked today in our brief, which I'm going to get posted here shortly, about getting long SDS calls and also VXX calls. SDS calls, why am I getting long those? Because I think we got lower to go in the market. Why am I getting long VXX calls? I'm getting long VXX calls, volatility, because I think the uncertainty going into the G20 summit is going to cause volatility to go up. So make sure if you're a member, jump on the member page here. The replay is almost rendered. So this is what I do. So guys, after we get off the webinar, it takes about 40 minutes for this replay to render. So that should be posted here in about 20-25 minutes. Okay, and we're going to have a busy primary live trade brief tomorrow, guys. So make sure, please, I know it's a holiday week and people traveling and everything like that, but at least watch the replay. I mean, we there's a lot going on in this market, and I want to try and keep you safe and potentially profit. Remember, if something's on a tear, right, either up or down, something's on a tear, we can make money as options traders. We don't care if the market's going up, down, or sideways. We can potentially profit here. And usually when there's a panic, markets go what? They go down a hell of a lot quicker than they go up. Like I said, they take the escalator up and the window down. We ain't going to be taking no elevator up here, guys. This is going to be a grind higher. But we have got to resolve issues like the Fed. We have got to resolve the China issue. Just a lot I kind of outline here. We got to resolve this Saudi Arabia issue. It turns out that there was a recording. The Turks obviously had the Saudi embassy consulate bugged, and you can hear the dude getting his limbs cut off. I mean, that just ain't – Uncle Sam should not dig something like that. I get the president. Saudi Arabia is a counterbalance to Iran. This arms deal brings jobs to America, but, I mean, shit, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Okay? 15 out of 19 hijackers and people who committed the biggest surprise attack since Pearl Harbor on U.S. soil were Saudi Arabian citizens. Last time I checked, that's a surprise. That's a surprise attack. So no friend of Saudi. I lived there for 3 months, guys. I lived in Riyadh, and it was a shithole. So not happy about Saudi. Not happy what's going on with the murder of the dude. But we don't deal with the Girl Scouts, guys. If you don't think that we maybe have engaged in similar type of behavior through our republic's history, you're nuts. So there's a little bit of selective outrage. But the president is not a good face for that type of stuff. Like, hey, we're no babe in the woods. That's not necessarily the answer in this type of situation. So it's going to be interesting. So what I'm getting at, folks, if you're not a member here and you want to join us tomorrow or the rest of the week, tomorrow and Wednesday for our daily 1 o'clock briefs, you can head to right here, our homepage, topgunoptions.com, and scroll down and click on this Full Throttle Max banner right here. Or you can head to go.topgunoptions.com/goflight. And for $38, you can trade with us this week and check out what we do here at TGO. This is not the time. This is not the market to be flying around solo in, because there is a lot of potential black swan or unseen missiles out there. So make sure you join us for the rest of the week. It's cheap. If that's your last $38, don't do it. If you're saving that for your GI Joe with the Kung Fu grip, don't do it. But if you want to learn how to hedge and potentially profit on these wild market swings, then I strongly recommend you give us a look, okay? So have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and I'll be back with Tuesday's Market Sit Rep. We'll see you.